Have you seen the trailer? Has it come over here yet?
Yeah.
It looks bitchin', no?
Yeah, the trailer really.
The Howling Commandos? Dum Dum Dugan with that stupid hat? I got something to say. I'm telling you, man, I was like, oh God, I'm writing in my chair like an 11-year-old. It was fantastic. And I know it's never going to live up to my expectations. But I'm still really excited.
But Howard, you are also a part of the Star Wars legend, but you're not so proud of it.
No, because if I had known it was going to be as big a deal, I would have done a better job. I thought I did a terrible job. I was really... No, trust me, I looked it up.
No, I like it.
That's because you were 11.
I will come with
How old were you?
No.
How old were you back then?
When I was old, I was nearly 20.
My God, you should have known that.
Yeah, when I see the comic book and...
It was terrible. It was just vile. Look, I have an ego. Okay, I'm not an egomaniac. I'm perfectly comfortable with my own insignificance. You know, and there are things about which I am not humble. There are things that I am very proud of. Star Wars is not one of them. I had known the movie was going to be such a world-changing phenomenon, and the movie, and there's nothing about what I saw in the movie before it came out that would have led me to believe that it would have been a world-changing phenomenon. I would have done a better job because it will haunt me for the rest of my life. I had to do American Flag to make up for it. Okay, to demonstrate that I actually had skill. Okay, but no, I'm ashamed of that. And it's on my permanent record.
But George Lucas especially said Howard Chaykin.
He was just being kind. No, trust me, he was just being kind. I'm sure.
Is George Lucas kind?
I'm sorry?
Is George Lucas kind?
Not really, but I'm sure he was just being kind to me. Because there was no reason otherwise. The work was dreadful.
No.
Trust me, I'm not going to get into an argument. I'm not going to tell you to stop defending me. Okay, the work was terrible.
Okay, it's terrible.
Thank you. How dare you? And that's how Jews are. We didn't get to tell our jokes.
Oh.
No.
Afterwards we'll mingle.
We'll mingle and tell you. We have a couple of Jewish jokes. Mine are much funnier than his.
Okay, das wird vielleicht...
I love the fact these are radio nights.
Okay, das wird hier vielleicht alles ein bisschen speziell und wir sind vielleicht manchmal etwas zu stark ins Superhelden-Genre abgedriftet. Hat irgendjemand hier im Publikum vielleicht eine Frage oder irgendwas, das im Allgemeinen nicht ganz verstanden, in welche Richtung das hier so ging?
He's talking about Bill's hair, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bill has the best hair in comics. Best hair in comics, ladies and gentlemen. I used to have the best hair in comics, now Bill.
Ja, oder möchte jemand wissen, welche Gelatine hier verwendet wird?
Stand up so we can see you later. It's on.
Yeah, you said something about damage control. I didn't really get it. Is it a kind of a superhero or?
Oh, you don't know what damage control is?
I never heard it, no.
Damage control is a Marvel comic book from the 70s, early 80s.
70s.
Like by the late great Dwayne McDuffie and Ernie Colomb, about a company that was founded in the 1930s to clean up New York after superheroes and monsters fought there. And the origin story, which was written but never drawn, was supposed to be drawn by Kyle Baker, about how the company was formed in the middle of the Depression after King Kong fell off the Empire State Building and exploded at the foot of 34th Street at 5th Avenue. And someone had to clean that up. It's true. It's a great script. And you can see it drawn by Kyle.
Yeah.
I mean,
why don't they do it? Okay.
Weitere Fragen? More questions?
Good question. Thank you very much.
Another good question?
Cowards. Big babies. Yeah. Make it polite.
Thank you very much. I would love to hear a little bit more from Bill Morrison. So, Bill. Bill, coming back to the Simpsons, there's one particular character that might be interesting here for the audience. How he was created and his part in the Simpsons is Krusty the Clown.
Krusty, yeah.
So probably you can talk a little bit about this character.
Well, Krusty was created by Simpsons creator Matt Groening, and he was based on a clown, TV show clown from his youth up in Portland, Oregon, named Rusty Nails. And seriously, Rusty Nails was this TV kiddie show clown. And Matt always saw him as, you know, he always imagined what his real personality was like, because he saw him on TV and he didn't look like the clowns you saw at the circus. He looked like probably he was an alcoholic, a gambler, you know. And that's basically what he based Krusty on. It wasn't until, I think, the second or third season that the Simpsons TV show writers decided to make him Jewish. So they came up with a story that was based on the jazz singer, which I don't know if you know the film, which was remade a couple of times. But first talkie, right? Yeah, first talkie.
Warner's Microphone.
Yeah, where an entertainer has to reconcile with his father, who's a rabbi. And so they took that story and they applied it to Krusty, and they hired Jackie Mason to play, famous Jewish comedian, to play Krusty's father. So they came up with this great story where we find out that Krusty, as a little boy, couldn't resist shooting people in the face with bottles of seltzer water and dropping his pants and just entertaining people. He loved to make people laugh, but his father wanted him to follow in his footsteps and be a rabbi. So for years and years they never spoke, because as far as Rabbi Krustovsky, which is Krusty's real last name, Krustovsky, Krusty was, you know, his son was dead to him, and it takes Bart and Lisa to bring the father and son back together, because Bart is so disturbed that his favorite entertainer is so unhappy because he hasn't spoken to his father in all these years, that he takes it upon himself to bring them together. So it's actually a very poignant story, also very funny. But once something like that happens on a TV show, they establish something, you know, so much backstory about a character. It just opens up the door for all kinds of stories. So they did a story where we found out that Krusty never had a bar mitzvah, and so he wanted to do that. He, you know, wanted to sort of fulfill his Jewish heritage and really get in touch with it, because he'd gone so far away from it. And but in true Krusty fashion, he decides to make it a TV special. So it's the Krusty Bar Mitzvah TV special. He decides to have it on TV. But in the end, of course, he sort of realizes he has to do it for real, and he has a nice little touching ceremony at the end. I think Mr. T was on the special.
Where are you looking at? Is that an apology for the Mr. T?
No, I'm looking at you because I think it's an episode you would enjoy.
I hate watching bar mitzvahs. And it's, oh, yeah. Unless I'm on the table with the silver hand.
Yeah.
Any Jews among you? Silver hand? Okay, thank you. No, okay, good.
Bill, by the way, how much have you been involved in the TV series, in the Simpsons TV series?
Not very much. I've done a few designs. Every so often, if they're in a jam to design a character, they come to me. No, only the comic books. Yeah. The Futurama show, I was the art director on that show, so I was pretty involved in that. But
the new one too?
What?
The current series?
Not the current one. The current one's on cable TV, so the budgets are really low. So they didn't have enough money to hire me. Amazingly, to my dismay, it looks much better than the original series without me. So.
And what kind of guy is Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons? Is he a nice boss? Or
yeah.
Tell the truth.
No.
Like, what are you going to say?
No, he's a really nice guy. He's very busy, so it's hard to get his attention about things. He's pretty much, I mean, I knew him before The Simpsons, so I knew him before he was rich and famous, and he's kind of the same guy, just with a better record collection and more comic books.
And is he always funny? Every sentence a joke?
No. He's quite witty, though, you know. Pretty much every conversation you have with Matt, there's going to be something funny come out of his mouth, but he's not one of those guys that's always making with the jokes and making you laugh all the time. He sort of has a very flat affect. So sometimes you're talking to him and you might even think he's mad at you when he's not. But back to Krusty. One of the really fun things about The Simpsons is there are characters who in the beginning we didn't know very much about, like Krusty, and then over the 20-some years, these characters have expanded and they're really these rich, wonderful characters with these great backstories and great personalities. And Krusty's one of them. There aren't too many Jews on The Simpsons besides Krusty. He's kind of like the head Jew. But we've got Hindus, and we had a Muslim character recently. Anyway, mostly Christians.
No, it's...
And there you go.
It's about season 24, 25. Will it go on and on and on with The Simpsons?
We thought it would stop after season 1. So every one that we get is just kind of a bonus. So we don't know. It doesn't seem to slow down.
The only episode I remember is the Planet of the Apes episode. Again, musical comedy.
Oh, musical, yeah.
And every ape I see, it's chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Dr. Sayers. But again, it's musical comedy. Rogers and Hammer's thing.
Yeah. Did you like the O Streetcar episode?
Never saw it.
No, you liked it.
No, it's just, I never became a fan, and I don't much like animation. I don't. I always felt that most animation on television is like radio, and it's, in particular, The Simpsons is always served as a radio show. And I feel that way about, to a certain extent, about Family Guy as well. I can't bear American Dad. I just hate it, and I'm not a fan of South Park either. Oddly enough, I like the movie. I like bigger, longer, and uncut a great deal because it's structured like an American musical comedy. Yeah. And I'm marginally interested in the Book of Mormon, the thing that just made them big stars on Broadway. But I'll wait till it comes to California because there's no reason to see it in New York because you and I can play the leads. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I just don't care about it. So I'm not a fan of animation. I see more animation with my grandchildren.
Yeah, I'm a South Park fan, not Family Guy, but...
I don't doubt that.
I love South Park.
I just find it appalling. I want to kill myself every time.
I have to watch it alone, though. I couldn't watch it with other people.
Well, my wife goes tearing out of the room whenever I watch Family Guy. I hate this so much. Oh, come on. Okay, all right, Annie.
We have another question.
Yes, come on.
Is it on? Yes. I had a question regarding Krusty the Clown. It's just like, do you think that there's any influence on the American society how to handle Jewish characters?
Do you mean, like, are there restrictions or prohibitions about it?
Yes. Because it's a way just to put into a series something of Jewish, or to handle it in a way, and so how talk the Americans, do the Americans talk about Krusty?
I don't know. I think The Simpsons is pretty even-handed in the way and kind of safe in the way they handle touchy subjects. It depends on what kind of network you're watching, because if you watch something like HBO, you'll see things stretch a lot further as far as how they handle different ethnicities and different religious characters. Things on mainstream TV are much more kind of generally unoffensive. I don't know if that answers your question.
In a way, it's just, I read an article and there was something about discussions about the next joke which is done. So what about Krusty's on the scene, and then do you talk in the reduction about it? How does he speak? What does he tell how is he like a character? Do you talk about that?
This is a new episode, or I'm not sure what you mean.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, are there discussions about how to create this character in your when you?
Oh, you mean like, do we have certain rules about what we can write about and what we can't write about? Oh, I see. No, I'm just speaking specifically about the comic books, because I don't really know what the writers of the TV show have to go through. I know there's, at all the networks, there's